There are more homeless children now than at any point in U.S. history. What will it take to make America think again? Headlines that matter, May 9th, 2016, on The Real Newsroom.
Move on to the next question. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm a sophomore, and this is for all three of you. Can you say in one sentence or less what... you know what I mean. Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
Lewis?
Freedom and freedom. So let's keep it that way.
Will?
The New York Jets.
No, I'm going to hold you to an answer on that. What makes America the greatest country in the world?
Well, Lewis and Sharon said it. Diversity and opportunity and freedom and freedom.
I'm not letting you go back to the airport without answering the question.
Well, our Constitution is a masterpiece. James Madison was a genius. The Declaration of Independence is, for me, the single greatest piece of American writing. You don't look satisfied.
One's a set of laws and the other's a declaration of war. I want a human moment from you. What about the people? Why is America
not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes.
Let's talk about...
Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of our paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always?
Hey.
And with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yeah, you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is, there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yosemite?
Sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars. acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. We were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men, men who were revered. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. Enough?
Let's move on.
That is the first season, episode 1 of The Newsroom, and the reason this show exists. Good morning, everybody. Everything that he said, that's Will McAvoy. That's Jeff Daniels, the actor, playing Will McAvoy. And everything he says is true. We can argue little details on statistics, but for the most part, everything he said is true. And as of today, we know that we've crossed another historic marker in our race to the bottom as a nation, and that is with homeless children. Because it wasn't good enough to have 1 in 50 or 1 in 40, we went for 1 in 30. 2.5 million children experience homelessness annually, and this is based on what they know. So bear in mind that all of these statistics are on what they can keep track of. I'm sure there's many, many more homeless children than this. But it's okay, because we have F-35s to protect them all. 54% of our money as a collective government goes towards our military force, yet no one complains about it, really, in Congress, other than Bernie Sanders. Nobody challenges the money spent on war. America is in a race to the bottom. I think we've bottomed out, actually, and we're on our way back up at this point. But that was in 2012. And back in 2012, people weren't quite awake. Not like they are today. Everything he said in there is true. Yet that was a fake anchor on a fake show. Where are the Will McAvoys today? We've got plenty of them on the internet. None of them on prime time. None of them exist on traditional networks, because those traditional networks are bought and paid for by corporations that also own our government. Rachel Maddow, Wolf Blitzer, Anderson Cooper. I don't even know the names of the bobbleheads anymore. None of them are journalists. All of them take money to spin a narrative that is not true. And the narrative that establishment media has spun, and that they were alluding to in that clip, is that America is still great. And in 2012, that message was being pushed still. And back decades, that message has been pushed and pushed and pushed, that America is great. Ignore the homelessness. Ignore the statistics. Ignore the fucking facts. Ignore the science. Ignore the data. Just listen to us, Rachel Maddow. Listen to us, Wolf Blitzer. We know best. It was our job to inform you, but instead of informing you about the truth, we've chosen to spin a narrative for a paycheck. Rachel Maddow takes a big fat paycheck for having Bernie Sanders in an interview and being nice to Bernie Sanders. But she doesn't represent the facts all the time, most of the time. And leading into this, she wasn't very nice to Bernie Sanders before that. How much airtime does she give Bernie as opposed to all the other candidates? And it's not just Rachel, it's all of them. There is no integrity in establishment media, not amongst the individuals that continue to take paychecks there, yet lie to the American people. Instead of informing us, they have kept us in the dark. Instead of being the true journalists they should be, instead of finding the truth, seeking truth, and speaking it like they are supposed to, they have lied to us. We are not informed. And that is the first step to repairing America, is becoming informed. And I'm going to make a call right now to Jon Stewart, because we talked about this yesterday. Jon, I know you're going to come back to HBO. Please do the right thing and come to the internet where the truth is. Don't go there. That's the establishment. And I understand that you've got a 4-year deal, and that's great. And I know you're not the kind of person who's doing it to make a bunch of cash. But the audience, your new audience, is on the web.